Days of Our Lives spoilers, October 14th. Abe gets shocking news. A legacy shattered. Abe Carver's past unravels in a bombshell revelation that will rock Salem to its core. Salem, IL. In the grand tapestry of Salem, certain threads are considered unbreakable. The enduring love of Doug and Julie, the relentless scheming of the Dimaras, and the unwavering integrity of Abraham Carver. For decades, Abe has been the city's moral compass, a pillar of strength forged in the fires of personal tragedy and public service. He is a man defined by his legacy as a father, a husband, a mayor, and a symbol of justice. But what happens when the very foundation of that legacy is revealed to be a carefully constructed lie? According to explosive spoilers for the October 14th episode of NBC's Days of Our Lives, Abe is about to receive news so shocking, so fundamentally destabilizing, that it threatens to erase the man he knows himself to be and rewrite the history of one of Salem's first families. The episode, titled Whispers of the Past, promises a quiet, intimate scene that will detonate with the force of a narrative atomic bomb. The source of this life-altering information is not a stranger, but a familiar face returning with a secret she can no longer contain. Paulina Price. The calm before the storm. The stage is set in the warm, familiar confines of the Kyriakis mansion. Abe, still navigating the complexities of his memory recovery after his ordeal with Clyde Weston, is finally feeling a sense of solid ground beneath his feet. His marriage to Paulina, tested by her own health struggles and his amnesia, has emerged stronger. They speak of the future, of travel, of grandchildren, of peaceful retirement. There is a palpable sense of healing in the air, a belief that the worst is behind them. Paulina, however, is a vortex of silent turmoil. For weeks, she has been carrying a weight that threatens to crush her. Viewers have seen her distracted, her trademark bravado replaced by furtive glances and a nervous energy. A cryptic phone call from an unknown number and a sealed envelope delivered by a private courier have hinted at a secret she is desperate to keep buried. But as the old adage goes in Salem, the truth has a relentless pulse. On October 14th, that truth will finally break free. Paulina has been sitting on a secret that isn't hers to keep, but one she took on to protect the man she loves, explains a source close to the production. She thought she was shielding him from more pain, especially during his recovery. But the secret has grown too large, and the external pressure is now too great. The delivery of this news isn't malicious. It's a desperate, agonizing act of love before the truth comes out from a more cruel, public source. The revelation, a life built on a bed of lies. The scene unfolds with a quiet dread. Abe, noticing his wife's distress, presses her for answers. "What is it, Lena? You haven't been yourself for weeks. Is it your heart? Please, don't shut me out." With tears streaming down her face, Paulina will finally confess. The news is not about her health, nor is it a financial scandal or a political misstep. It is something far more profound. She reveals that she has been contacted by a representative from the state's Bureau of Vital Records and a private investigator working for a third party. The investigation centers on the late Diane Black, the woman Abe has known his entire life as his mother. According to the documents Paulina has obtained, Diane Black was not Abe's biological mother. The air leaves the room. The revelation is so absolute, so nonsensical, that Abe initially laughs it off as a cruel hoax. "That's impossible," he will insist, his voice a mixture of amusement and concern. "My mother was a proud, strong woman. She raised me. She loved me. This is some kind of scam, Lena." But Paulina persists, her voice trembling as she lays out the facts. The investigator, acting on an anonymous tip, uncovered an amended birth certificate from 1952. The original certificate, allegedly sealed by a now-defunct adoption agency, lists Abe's biological mother as a woman named Eleanor Grant, a young nursing student from Chicago who vanished from public records shortly after the birth. His biological father is listed as unknown. The adoption was a closed, private arrangement brokered by a powerful family friend, a name that will send a chill down the spines of longtime viewers. Victor Kiriakis. Victor, in his early, grittier days, allegedly facilitated the adoption for Diane and her husband, ensuring the records were buried so deep that no one, not even a man who would become the city's top law enforcement official, could ever find them. Diane Black carried the secret to her grave. The fallout, identity, legacy, and a father's love. The implications of this revelation are staggering. For a man like Abe Carver, whose identity is so deeply rooted in family, history, and justice, this is not just surprising news, it is an existential crisis. Who am I? This simple, terrifying question will echo through the episode. If the woman he called Mom was not his mother, then who was Eleanor Grant? Why did she give him up? What legacy, what medical history, what hidden lineage has he been unaware of for over 70 years? Furthermore, the involvement of the late Victor Kiriakis adds a layer of profound betrayal. Victor was a rival, a friend, a complicated ally. To learn that the titan of industry held the key to his own origin story, a story Abe never knew was hidden, will force him to recontextualize their entire relationship. Was it an act of kindness, giving a child a home with a loving mother? Or was it a transaction, another piece in Victor's endless chess game of power and control? The most immediate and heartbreaking casualty of this news, however, may be the memory of his son, Brandon Walker. Abe's grief over Brandon's death has been a defining feature of his character. Now, he is left to wonder, did he ever truly know the genetic legacy he passed on to his son? Did Brandon's life and his death carry echoes of a biological history they never knew? This storyline is a masterclass in retroactive storytelling, says our insider. It doesn't change the love Abe felt for Diane, but it fundamentally alters the context of that love. It asks the question, what makes a family? Is it blood, or is it the life you build? For a man who has lost so much, having the bedrock of his very existence pulled out from under him is the ultimate testament. Ripples across Salem. Abe's shockwave will not be contained. The news will have immediate repercussions for those around him. Theo Carver. How will Abe's adopted son process this? His own place in the family, already defined by adoption, is now mirrored by his father's hidden past in a way that is both confusing and strangely unifying. Lonnie Price, as Paulina's daughter and a former police officer who revered Abe, Lonnie will be torn between her loyalty to her mother, who kept the secret, and her devotion to the man she considered a second father. Her return to Salem is now all but guaranteed as this family crisis deepens. Alex Kiriakis. As the current head of the Kiriakis family, Alex may find himself having to answer for Victor's actions, creating new friction within the corporate and personal dynamics of Salem. The anonymous tipster. The biggest question of all remains, who set this investigation in motion? The spoilers point to a mysterious, powerful figure from the past, with a grudge against the Carver name. Speculation is already running wild. Could it be a descendant of Eleanor Grant, a forgotten enemy of Victor's? Or perhaps the now adult child of a long-lost sibling Abe never knew he had? A new chapter for a Salem legend. The October 14th episode of Days of Our Lives is more than just a spoiler. It is a paradigm shift. For an iconic character like Abe Carver, played with such grounded grace by James Reynolds for over 37 years, this is the kind of profound, character-driven story that revitalizes a legacy. It moves Abe from being the stable, reliable anchor of the canvas to the center of a gripping, emotional mystery. Who is Abraham Carver? The answer to that question is now a thrilling, terrifying mystery, not just for him, but for every viewer who has welcomed him into their homes for decades. As the clock ticks down to this unforgettable episode, one thing is certain. The pillar of Salem is about to crack, and from those fractures, a new, more complex, and more human Abe Carver will have to rise. Tune in on October 14th, because in Salem, the past is never truly past. It's just waiting for the right moment to shatter the present.